in a very intimate way. Yes?
I have a kind of an open-ended question, so I want to keep you talking
You want to keep me talking or not?
No, not too long, though. I was wondering, how does the Quran address issues of diversity and more specifically things like race, gender, sexual preference, etc.? If it does, and how so?
Well, it doesn't, let me see. Does it address the issue of diversity in race, for example? Yeah. It said, "O mankind, we created you of different nations and colors and hues, so that you will come to know one each other. Truly the most noble of you in the sight of God is he who is most virtuous," for example. Something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing, And throughout the Quran, it stresses that we could have made you all homogeneous, all one. But we made, but we did not. It was not our intention. So vie with one another in doing good. Are you following me? And so the point in the Quran as far as racial diversity goes is that it was God's intention to make people different, because it's through dealing with people that are different from us that we have the greatest opportunities to grow. It's easy to show compassion to my daughter. It's hard for me to show compassion to somebody who's very different from me, from a foreign land, or a wayfarer, as the Quran describes. Somebody that, and it stresses showing kindness to such people outside your natural environment. Those are the greatest tests and means to grow. Let's see, male-female type things. The Quran talks about how men and women will both be in paradise. How they have the same ethical and moral responsibilities and opportunity and spiritual opportunities to grow, for men who surrender themselves under God, and women who surrender themselves under God, for men who pray to God, for women who pray to God, for men who are devout, for women are it goes down this long list. For men who do this, women for this, God has promised them forgiveness and a vast reward. So there's that aspect of the Quran. What's the other one?
Sexual preference.
Sexual preference. The Quran really doesn't talk about that so much. It does repeat the story of the people of Lot, and it says that they engaged in all sorts of abominations, that they committed highway robbery, that they committed rape of passers-by. In the story, the crowds from the people of Lot come and attack the visitors of the prophet Lot and want to take them and make use of them. And it says they committed atrocities in their public assemblies, and for that God has destroyed them, etc. That's about the only issue, that it really deals with something close to what you talked about. Although I know, of course, every normal human being would object to that, of course. But I'm talking strictly from the point of view of the Quran, But it definitely condemns them for what they did, the activity that they got involved in. And it does go into, does paint a very sorry picture of the people, I'll tell you the truth. Alaikum salam.
I'd like to ask you, I'm a Muslim, but some sisters ask me this question. After someone embraces Islam, could he get out of Islam and try to experience some other religion?
Say that again.
If someone embraces Islam,
yes,
could he get out of Islam and try to experience?
Should he or could he?
Could he or could she or?
Could he or could she? Oh, so you're asking me, could he or she?
Could he or she?
I suppose it's possible. I mean, I've seen people become Muslims in America and then become Buddhists thereafter and things like that. Some Americans just give it a shot.
What about from the Islamic perspective? I mean, is it?
The Quran says they definitely should not do that. The Quran says that, for those people who believed and then disbelieved and then believed and that's disbelieved, it says that God will, that they will suffer severe. I can't remember exactly, but they will suffer severely for that in the hereafter.
And
people make their religion a toy and believe and disbelieve and believe and disbelieve. Yeah, exactly.
And why is that?
Well, because they're taking the religion as a joke. You know what I mean? They're not being sincere at all. they're using the religion for their own gains. They believe when it's convenient. They disbelieve when it's talking about certain people who believe when it suits their material purposes, and then disbelieve when it doesn't. Are you following me? And then believe. So they're actually making their material, their personal worldly needs, they're putting that before the worship of God. They're manipulating religion to serve their worldly needs, which is, exactly the opposite of what it should be. Are you following me?
Yeah, but you said, I think in the last lecture, that you have to experience it spiritually. So, I mean, the sister, she said she wants to experience spiritually over Islam, over Christianity, over Judaism. So she really wants to experience it, she just doesn't want to make it a toy, but she really wants to experience it.
Oh.
So
well, I think, I can't tell her what to do. If she would like, I'm saying that, the most important thing is not taking it as a toy. I can't reach into her heart and know what her motivations are or what she's going through. I would probably have to talk to her about that. But you're asking me to answer way beyond what I could do just standing here listening to your question. But the most important thing is don't take a religion as, the Quran is telling us, don't take the religion as a sport. Don't take it as something lightly. These are serious matters. And don't, especially, use religion to serve your needs. Rather, you should serve God in your pursuit of religion, not the other way around. Make God serve you in your pursuit of worldly gains. Okay? Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, this
Thank you for the
letter
question.
says.
Yes.
I unfortunately forget the author's name, but there is a book out now called The God Part of the Brain. This book claims that through evolution, humans have developed a belief in God, quote unquote, or a quote unquote higher morality for the sake of communal cooperation and survival. What is your argument to this? Also, when do you expect the next book to be finished? Thank you, and may Allah reward you, God willing.
God Part of the Brain? I've never read that book, I'll tell you the truth. I don't believe it. I don't believe we just developed this system of this idea of a supreme being just as a convenience, But, that's just a theory, and a rationalization and explanation of things. And I could understand how somebody might devise that. I don't believe it's true, but that person will. But the author of that will have to go through their own search, their own experiences. Will have the Quran points out they will definitely be presented opportunities when they'll be given opportunities, presented with critical opportunities to rethink the whole idea of whether there is a God and whether it exists and what is truth and whatsoever. But I can't correct everybody's. Since I don't believe in theory and I don't know about it, and I'll be honest with you. These theories come along all the time. They come into being, and then that one gets thrown out, and then another, and then that ones get thrown out. And, I never found them very satisfying or appealing.